have to say that the last few days I love the hearts, thank you so much. I think for all of us has been a lot to handle besides the Venezuelan invasion on Saturday morning and now the murder of a young mother in cold blood by the Republican ICE Gestapo. We do have good news where it does seem like Congress is finally doing something. Um, but we've seen with both the healthcare vote, we saw that 190, I think at 94, maybe 93, 190 plus representatives, people who are paid to represent the American citizens' interest, voted against extending the healthcare benefits. And what's really important to that now it did, you know, the good vote, I mean, we did have more that voted yes, but we still have to really what we really have to look at are those that are voting no, because those people are against the American people. And what really surprises me, I mean, it just blows my mind up. They voted against the American people, but yet we're paying their paycheck and they get socialist healthcare that is excellent. And it's socialist because we pay for it. They don't pay a dime for their healthcare. And yet they're voting against allowing Americans to have just a little bit of good healthcare. I mean, even Obamacare, even with that, and not letting it raise up 400% in premiums, it's still sucky healthcare, but it's better than what is the alternative at this point. We have to, when we get on the other side of this, I think we'll all have socialist healthcare because we have been lied to for 50 years that socialism, when it's actually capitalism. Um, but I think people are starting to smell what the Republicans are cooking and what the billionaires have been cooking that are all fucking lies. Yeah, Karma, my anxiety has been high too. When my anxiety's high, taking care of my most immediate needs and my children's needs ends up being all I can do because I need more downtime. And that's why I actually didn't get on live yesterday was because I just needed more downtime. And yeah, it was Cold Stewart. Yes, cold blood fucking murder. And here's the thing, it's a pedophile. A pedophile is running this whole shit show. And I love how Minnesota I don't like the circumstances, of course. I don't know, Karma. Um, I okay, so what I heard, but I don't want to say that this is what's gonna happen because I read it, from one news source, but then I couldn't find it at any other news source, was that they're gonna activate all of it. But I don't know if that's accurate. I read that off of an independent media source. Um, and I have to say that, after Renee was murdered by the Republican ICE Gestapo, um, within, later in the day, it was like late afternoon, many of the independent news sources um, were saying it was one person's name, but later on, we have found out that it's another person's name. And the pictures are accurate. The pictures didn't change, right? The pictures are correct of this individual, but his name's not Steve, it's Jonathan. So I felt a little gun shy now because I also reached out to those news sources because there was three that I got the name Steve from. And I reached back out to those three and got crickets on, hey, what is the correct name? And I don't think it was crickets because they were, um, trying to hide from me. I think that it was crickets because they were overwhelmed. Like, they had so many DMs to respond to and, uh, so many, um so many people DMing them and trying to keep up with the news source. I think that's why they didn't respond to me. So I'm not taking it as, "Oh, that was malicious." I'm just saying I didn't get any information. I did follow up and ask them. Um, but as of today, everybody's reporting on it being Jonathan. Um, yeah, Jonathan Ross. Yeah, initially it was Steve. I think it was Steve with a G, his last name with a G, Goat or something like that. I can't remember now. Um, but that's what I originally had said, like within 12 hours after she was murdered. Um, and I got that from 3 news stories. I always try to make sure before. I mean, there are some things like this that fall through the cracks, but I do try to always get 3 different news sources that are saying the same thing before I post it. Um, and so that's why I posted Steve's name because I I had it from 3 sources. Um, I think honestly, yeah, his name is Jonathan Ross. We've definitely it definitely is that. But I think there was just so much chaos. Um, Yeah, it is. It's difficult to because, initially what this and I'm calling it the pedophile regime now because they're all of this is to dodge the Epstein files, right? It was to dodge the Epstein files and it was to dodge, um, the whole insurance going up. And so, um the other thing that it's dodging, that this was to dodge, that was a is a smokescreen because any kind of violence and I'm getting ready to post this video. I have a video from November where this guy was saying, "Hey, pay attention as regimes collapse, just like when the Nazi regime collapsed, there's an acceleration of violence." And I was like, "Oh, can it really get that much?" I never said anything about this one video. Oh my gosh, he was so right on. And, yeah, they want us in chaos and they want us in fear, right? Right, SP, that is correct. I agree with what you're saying. Oh, really? Did you know him, Kathy? I mean, obviously he's a douchebag, sorry, because he's part of this Republican ICE militia, Gestapo. Um, Anyway, I've been calling it the pedophile regime now because I'm this is a smokescreen for the Epstein files, it's a smokescreen for the healthcare being cut, and it's a smokescreen for on my birthday, December 4th, um, Bondi said that any American citizen that speaks against the government, against Trump, is going to be considered a domestic terrorist. And this week, they started removing vocal opponents to this regime, started removing their passport. So they deactivated their passport and they've deactivated their, if they had TSA clearance, the advanced clearance that you can get, they deactivated it. And many of them are coming on. There was someone here on Substack, several on TikTok. I caught a few on YouTube where this is actually happening. And this is that escalation of violence against the American people. Um, and, I want to bring up TikTok because I know a lot of you guys are on TikTok and I am, and I post a lot of videos from there. Um, I go live over there as well. I don't really post that much over there, but I go live. Um, you know, I I'm a TikTok fan. I think what's happened to TikTok is bad. And not bad because China was taking our data, because China was not taking our data. It was Facebook. It was Meta. So Meta is Facebook and it's Instagram. And I don't know if anyone watched the senior officer, and I can't remember her name. I'm really bad with names. I'm great with faces, but she's blonde, petite woman. She wrote a book after she quit Facebook, Meta, and she was the whistleblower of Facebook. And okay, SP, I know you're saying that it's right wing, but that's not what I experience. I don't experience right wing. I experience really good content, really good left wing data, and I also experience a lot of European information that I've been able to see what's been going on in Italy, for example. Um, this pedophile regime and pedophile Trump wants to cut that out, right? They don't want you to have that resource. And so this was like 2, 3 years ago, well, probably longer, probably like 3 or 4 years ago when the first "Oh, TikTok's stealing our data" things started coming across, especially from Cory Booker. Well, it's actually Meta who's been stealing our data, and you should be scared the fuck of them because they are stealing our data. And Mark Zuckerberg, who I like to call him Fuckaberg, but he paid Cory and convinced him it was TikTok. And Cory, he's a Democrat for hire. He takes those APAC checks and cashes them monthly. And of course he was easy to pay off, and he became this mouthpiece against TikTok, right? TikTok has not stolen our data at all. And now we have an oligarch who has purchased TikTok, Larry Ellison, and they are locking it down so you do not get any more European content. And I am starting to see that my European content is going away. And I'm going and trying to find those people because I've taken videos and pictures of the European content creators and I can't find them. And the reason why is because they're locking America out. So you can't leave America and you can't get in. And this is part of that dictator Nazi, we're gonna lock it down and extreme violence is gonna start. SP, I do not like Cory Booker at all. He is paid and bought by anybody that has the highest dollar. He is a big mouthpiece, but he doesn't do any action. And he takes a lot of money from AIPAC. And I'm against Israel. And the reason why Cory, if you go look at his voting record, Cory and Jeffries is also in Israel's back pocket. They both were mouthpieces against, we don't want to fund genocide. And then what did they do? They voted to continue sending money to Israel. Our money, right? I'm getting really pissed at how loose and fast that these Democrats and Republicans think they can play around with our money and pedophile Trump. I don't have a lot of time today because my son's at work. He's a lifeguard, and I have about 20 more minutes left before I have to pick him up. But I wanted to get on here just to say, yeah, things are bad and things are going to get worse. And the reason they're going to get worse is because too many Americans, and I just posted a video about this. I really like Tall Girl, and she does a lot of good videos. And she made a great video today that I posted that reposted. The reason prices are going up in the grocery stores obviously are these ridiculous tariffs. And I want you guys to all remember the Republicans this summer had the chance to remove every single tariff, and they chose not to. Why? Because they're against the American people. The Republican Party is against the American people. And these tariffs are ridiculous. There's no reason we should have extra cost on us right now when food is going up across the world in price. No, it's ridiculous. And what this pedophile regime is trying to do is bleed us dry. And so, what we have to do, we have to remove our dollars from this economy. And there's just too many people that aren't uncomfortable enough to do that. And she makes it a point where, go watch the video, it's good, but it's like 4 minutes long, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit long video, but she makes a really good point that, this one creator went in and was complaining about food because she got like 4 things and it cost $50, which is ridiculous. But 4 chicken breasts cost $25, and this was in Canada at some, actually a real discount grocery store. And the thing is that if you have the $25, I really like her point because if you have the $25, um, okay, just real quick, SP, that's why I love TikTok because you get on the European side, and I've been that's where I've been living the last year. And that's where I get a lot of my news. Um, but anyway, back to what I was saying. God, I hate the only thing I don't like is how there we go. All right. Yes, Tall Girl on Substack. Um, I stay on Facebook for groups because I get a lot of information on groups. Facebook needs to go away, and I'm gonna be sad about it, but it does need to go away. Um, and it's going to because Mark Zuckerberg is a piece of trash. But anyway, back to the story. What I liked about it was that a tall girl made this point that you have $25 to buy 4 chicken breasts. You're not uncomfortable enough. And that's the problem even in America, right? This was a person in Canada. Because they are having this food increase is worldwide. It is not an American issue. It's worse because we have these ridiculous tariffs imposed on us by pedophile Trump. But um, so it is worse in America, but everybody's having it. Everybody's getting hit with it. And if you can still buy 4 chicken breasts for $25, you're still not uncomfortable enough. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking the barrel. We're looking down the gun barrel because of complete we are a captured state already, and it's getting worse. And I don't know what it's going to take before people will remove their money from this economy. And the thing that we have to do, and Tall Girl talks about this, is that the prices are going to keep going up. They're not going to go down. Why? They're not going to go down because you keep buying everything at that price. These grocery store chains and these grocery outlets, the Walmarts and the Targets, because there's people still not boycotting Target, um, and Kroger's. I mean, just all of them. They're owned by a few monopolies, right? And these monopolies are like, it doesn't matter. We can charge whatever the fuck we want, and guess what? You will pay it. And that's exactly what the American citizen is doing. And until the American citizen says, "No, we won't," and lets that food sit and fucking rot in that grocery store, and that grocery store starts losing money hand over fist, we're not gonna have lower prices. So then what do you do for food? Well, you go to the little small businesses. There are a butcher, and I guarantee you, in every single community within range of every single person that someone could be using. Go get your food there. Go get your meat there. It is not that much more expensive. I am now getting my chicken and my meat from a butcher here locally in northern Colorado It's a few cents more sometimes for something, for like steak, but that few cents more is actually from prices in 2022. They are not charging the prices that these big box stores are charging. I also go to independent grocery stores. We have one here called Esh that I go to, and I'm getting every single day, no matter what time of day I go in there, no matter what day I go in there, I'm getting a pound of hamburger for $3. And that's crazy to say because a few years ago hamburger was like $2.50 a pound. Here we are just 3 or 4 years later, and and these grocery chains, these monopolies are trying to charge $8, $9, sometimes 12 for a pound of hamburger. Now, I went to my butcher and guess how much my butcher was? $3.50. So they are still cheaper than you're going to find. And of course, if you're going to go and they have quality, they have different quality and categories of hamburger. So if you're going to go ultra lean, that's going to be more expensive. If you go middle of the road, it was $3.50 for me. If I wanted it more, it was getting up more towards 5. And then they had some like sirloin only, really specialty kind of cut that they made into hamburger, and that was more expensive. But I'd have been paying like $25 a pound for that at any of these monopoly stores. And so you do that. That's how you get your meat. How do you dairy? Well, you go to your dairy. It's not that much more expensive. It isn't. They are charging about right now here in Northern Colorado, $2.50 for a half gallon. So that's $5 for a gallon. I'm paying $4.75 for crap milk in a grocery store. I can get clean, healthy cow milk for 25 cents to 50 cents more than what I'm buying in these monopolies. These independent grocery stores that are small businesses like this one called Esh here in Northern Colorado, I can get a pound of sugar for $1. I can get all kinds of different cheeses way cheaper. And, and that's just the top of, that's just the top of the iceberg. I mean, I routinely go to the small grocery store to purchase my stuff. Then I make an extra trip to the butcher and an extra trip to the bakery and the extra trip and it's worth it. It's a pain in the ass. I'm getting used to it, right? Because I broke my addiction to convenience. But I'm removing my dollars from this economy. You need to do it too. Everybody needs to do it. Because the prices are going to just keep going up. And they were laughing all the way to the bank at every fucking American that just couldn't stop buying during Christmas. We had a chance to really shut it down during the holidays, and the American people blew it. They really did. There were a lot of us that didn't, and yeah, their sales were definitely down, but not what they needed to be. We haven't gotten their attention yet. They still see us as captured, and we are. We are. You have to remove your dollars. I know, Stuart. I mean, and here's the thing. Go watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They talk about tariffs at the very beginning of the show and how they don't work. Come on, right? Um, oh, that's cool, SP. I wish I was in those shoes. I just started boycotting when they took away DEI. I was a Target girl. Never will I be again, but I was. And yep, I am boycotting Amazon. I still have the app. I do research on the app and then I find the product I want and then I find the small business that's selling it on Amazon and then I go buy it directly from the business. Yes, should be boycott. SP, that's exactly it. Any business owned by an oligarch, a billionaire, should be boycotted. Any business owned by a conglomerate should be boycotted. Yes, and go to farm stands. Very good. I didn't mention that. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, SP. We have a winter farmers market in northern Colorado, and you know what's cool about it? They've taken over a abandoned mall, and we know across this nation there are abandoned malls galore. And what the northern Colorado farmer markets have done, they come together and they meet every Saturday, and I've been going there too. And I've been getting my in-season vegetables. Guess what's not in season? An orange. Guess what's not in season? Plums, strawberries. And guess what? They're not at a farmer's market. And so I'm not eating them. That's where Americans don't want to get inconvenient. They want their lemons and they want their oranges and they want their strawberries. Well, start eating in season. And right there, if you just eat in season, you pull a lot of your money probably out of out of this economy because you're not purchasing stuff that doesn't grow in your region in winter. Truly, I should never ever have a lemon, honestly, right? Because I live in Colorado and there's no way to grow lemons in Colorado. So, calling myself out, but in the summer, I will indulge with lemons. I love lemons. I love everything about lemons. And I love oranges. And I know they're not in season, and I also know that they're not in my region, which really sucks, of course. But Doug, yes, if you have an Aldi, go there. I do not have one. Aldi is not in Colorado, or Aldi, sorry. I do go to Trader Joe's, but you've got to watch Trader Joe's too, because not everything is a good deal at Trader Joe's. There are a lot of good deals and a lot of good stuff at Trader Joe's, but you still have to have a discerning eye. Their meat is not a good deal. Their chicken is not a good deal. Costco. I also go to Costco. You got to look at their stuff. Their meat can be a really good deal, especially if you buy just like a hunk of meat for like $100. You can cut it up yourself, and there's tons of videos. If anybody wants those videos, I can definitely I can post them. Where this lady shows you how to be your own butcher and cut up one of those huge, like fourth of, I don't know, it's not a fourth of a cow, but it's just a hunk of cow, and how to cut it up into what would have cost you like $300 at if you went and bought each individual piece, like the steaks and the roast and stuff. Um, yeah, and Trader Joe's, because Trader Joe's and Aldi's they were brothers, and so they are both European owned. Um, and then they split off. They had some kind of family feud. They split off and they became two different grocery stores. Yes, minority. I agree with that. Gosh, I lost that again. Okay, Doug. From minority, immigrant, and owned grocery stores and markets. Yes, go to the Asian markets. I am finding the Asian markets in my area. I just moved up to northern Colorado in July, so I haven't found a closer one, but the closest one so far is 30 minutes from me, but I know there's somewhere closer. So, yeah, go to those Asian markets. Tons of Mexican and Spanish markets up here. I haven't gone to those yet, but I'm going to. I'm adding, I'm adding in what I can do. And and that's an excellent, excellent thing to do because that's who we need to be supporting, right? Yeah, I'll have to tell you, the farmers up here really want to stick it to pedophile Trump. And so they are selling their stuff a lot cheaper than what you're going to get in any grocery store. Excuse me. We never saw retail numbers. Oh, you mean like from the government? Yeah. Well, and he was reporting these outrageous numbers for jobs, and jobs have declined. Um, I had 5 friends now, 5 as of this week, that were laid off, and the way they were laid off, they were 25 plus year employees, so super loyal to the company. They had large salaries because 'cause they'd been there a long time, they were in tech, all of them very intelligent, do what they were doing really good. Blood, sweat, and tears they put into these corporations. They all had, like, around $250,000 salaries, and they all got laid off. 4 of them got laid off on the same day, December 15th, and they basically were given an ultimatum, like, 2 weeks prior, at the 1st of December or around Thanksgiving. They were told, "Oh, you can take early retirement, or we're gonna lay you off." And none of them would have left. None of them would have taken early retirement. They wanted to stay. And then my friend this week that got laid off, same situation. He wasn't even given the option of early retirement. They just said, "We're laying you off." His boss didn't even know that he was getting laid off, and he was in, like, middle management. And, the thing about it, they're in grief right now, all of my friends, and they can't find jobs that are gonna pay them $250,000. And, they're kinda, like, left holding the bag. And they asked me what to do, and I told them, I said, "It's what I'm telling everybody to do. You need to get the education, and you need to build a digital income stream." And, they're like, "Well, we were so loyal to our corporation, what XYZ." And I'm like, "There's no such thing as a corporation ever be never has a corporation ever been loyal to their employees. Small business, yes. Corporations, no. The Intels, the Microsofts, the um, Metas, the Oracle, none of those are loyal. None of them are loyal. Excel Energy, they're corrupt as can be. They're not loyal. They'll cut you as quick as they can if you don't fit their numbers. The only way you own something, the only way you have a legacy, and the only way you have loyalty is to build your own income stream and to own it. Um, yep, Stuart, I'm disgusted by how Christmas panned out, how people just sold out. They're so addicted to consumerism, and they're so addicted to their instant gratification and their comforts. They cut their nose off to spite their face. And these are gonna be the people that actually get hurt the worst as things get worse, and they're the ones that refuse to buckle down and say, "Yeah, we're not gonna participate." We gotta do what Italy did, and Italy just said, "Fuck you, government." They went out and the majority of people stocked up for a month, and they stopped going to work. We've gotta remove our labor too. Like it or not, that's what we have to do. We have to remove our labor because they're counting on the corporations, the billionaires, that you will not remove your labor. And I think it's criminal how health insurance is tied to a job. I think it's criminal. And the reason why I think it's criminal is that now they've got you by the neck where they can do whatever they want because you're going to stick it out for that for the health insurance. If you've lost your job, go get an online job. On YouTube, they have them all the time. Go get an online job where you're just, making, 20, 23, $25 an hour, and then purchase my course, the beginnings course, and learn how to build your second stream, your income stream that you own. I teach you everything in that course. I teach you how to build the business from scratch, all the technical pieces. I hold your hand. There's 200 hours of video. And I show you how to monetize your skill set. If you want to set it up as ebooks, do you want to set it up as a course? I show you how to set up your whole school account, and that's a platform where you can do a course. And I guarantee you that everyone on this call, there's 68 people right now on this live, and I guarantee you that every one of you has a skill set that somebody else wants to learn about. And from that be soap making, candle making, how to make your own mixes from, really simplistic like cocoa mix to something more complex like and I don't think sourdough's complex, but it gets more complex. Um to, making your own specialized types of yogurts and fruit leather. If you know how to do all that, there's people that want to do that. How to garden, how to do spreadsheets, how to do your finances. I have a person who got canned. She was a CPA at a government organization in DC last January, career CPA that had been working in government all her life. I think she was like maybe 30 years in, and Elon Musk canned her. And she's like, instead of, then she came across me and she's like, you were my bright spot. Instead of focusing on what I lost, I'm going to focus on what I can build. She bought my course. She had some questions. I'm always available. And she took off. And you know what she did? She developed spreadsheets that looked nice, that were already had the formulas in them, that you could purchase from her to do your own personal finance. She was making enough money. Like I think she was making like 2,500 a month in by the third month. So like in March. And then by that summer, she had doubled it. So I think it was like July, because the last I talked to her was the week we were moving up here to Northern Colorado, and she said she doubled her business income. And then somewhere around October was the last time I talked to her, and she said, we're moving into the fourth quarter, and I've completely replaced my salary from the job that Elon Musk fired me from with no warning and no reason. And she's like, and I'll never go back. And then, the thing is that she started with that, but then that gets you more ideas. The juices start going. You go, you start figuring out other stuff. So for me, I'm an EFT tapping specialist, which is emotional freedom technique, and it works on rewiring the neurology, and it's scientifically proven with MRIs. I've been doing this since 2001. So the first thing that I did was that I monetized that. And then I was like, "Oh, wait, my other skill set is obviously social media, website design, email marketing, because I teach you how to do all of that in my course, and that is my skill set." So I said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna monetize that." And then after I got my course going, I realized, "Oh, I'm a Canva expert. I can also monetize that." So I have a Canva, um ebook with about 20 hours of video that teach you all the basics of Canva. And then I had a lot of people saying, but we don't want to show our face. So I put together 7 ebooks, very densely packed with information, called the Faceless Marketing Guides or Faceless Marketing Bundle. And so do you see how it just kept expanding? Because I didn't think of those other things at first. And that's what you have to do. And you can do it's a business. You're still building it like a business, but you can do it on the side or in parallel with what you've got going on just to pay the bills. And right now, I was going to expire it today. But right now, I'm going to extend it to next Friday. Just because of everything that's been so heavy going on this week. Um, if you join my paid side of Substack, which is only $40 for the year, which comes out to like $3.33, you'll get my beginnings course for free. And it's a manual. I do this manually, so it's not like a typical download where you pay and it immediately is available. If you want that, go to the link in my bio. And if you pay through the link in my bio, you immediately get access to the beginnings course. However, if you purchase my paid side of my Substack for $40, within 24 hours, you'll get access to the beginnings course at no extra charge. It's for yours for life. Updates, there's no charges, there's no upsells. And again, it's like 20 modules long. And in each module, I have anywhere between 5 to, I think the largest one is 25 lessons. And there's about 2, and I keep them broken down so that the information isn't overwhelming. And there's about 200 hours, a little over 200 hours of video. And I set it up so that you could do the course and build your business alongside of it, right? In tandem. That's the best deal that I can offer right now to really help everybody out. So for $40, you get my paid side of my Substack, which I have a lot of downloads. I put all my EFT trainings on there and the scripts, so you can download them and do those. I have all kinds of worksheets I put on there. I also put on the paid side of my Substack the lives, and so you can go back and watch those. I also put on the paid side trainings in Canva, and I'm going to start doing more in-depth trainings on the beginnings course, like delving deeper into because sometimes you need to hear it from a different angle, multiple angles before it clicks, and email marketing seems to be that piece for a lot of people. And, when you're on social, that's great, but you don't own anything on social. So you need to get those people into your email database because that's what you own. And so I'm going to do more in-depth trainings on that. I'm posting different guides on, gardening, which is going to be coming up. I'm going to be posting guides on how to do the basic mixes where you don't need any extra equipment, any specialized equipment. You need a mason jar and the ingredients. And it's cheaper to make your Bisquick. It's cheaper to make your cocoa mix. And you're not giving money to this economy, right? This is how we do it. Um, yeah, we do need healthcare for all. I don't understand this whole healthcare debacle. Healthcare wasn't like this before Reagan. College wasn't like this before Reagan. There wasn't this kind of college debt. College was virtually cheap, free. It was like how Europe is now, My kids want to go to college in Europe, and we're part of a group called Beyond the States. And college routinely is 800, and I think the most we found was like 3,000 a year. And that's how it used to be here. This is a whole these, Blue Cross, all these health insurance places, it's all a scam. And so are credit reports and credit bureaus. That all started with Reagan too. It's all a scam. Yeah, we just have to. Bye, Kathy. Um, oh, that's so cool, Karen. Um, We can purchase cows up here, like half a cow, a fourth of a cow. You just have to have the freezer to be able to put it in. And it's running about 2,000 for a half a cow up here. I believe it's like 900 and something for a fourth of a cow. Um, and you get a lot of meat. So if you have a freezer, that's what you want to do. The only thing is just not offered, every month, every day, because it's as the cows mature and get big. And then the farmers put out messages saying, okay, we're going to have butchering going on. Who wants to purchase? We have a half a cow, a fourth a cow. I think a fourth of a cow is the least that I've seen. And of course, you can buy a whole cow too. Yeah, and Karen, that's all bullshit, just like trickle-down economics, right? And Reagan was an actor through and through, and this was just his gig, and He was paid and bought by billionaires and corporations, and that's what he set up, He set it up against the American people. Um, he really, really hated people that went to college. He really did. The riots that happened in the 80 and 81, um, that was one of the reasons he wanted it to be harder for people to go to college, and that's why there's these enormous fees. And here's another thing that I found out, through, Beyond the States, which is the group that we're working with for my kids to go to college in Europe, um, which is not happening this year, but, um, they wanna go in the fall of next year. So I'm hoping everything gets somewhere settled, by then. But anyway, um, 75% of all college tuitions goes to the sports program. That pissed me off because I do not want 75% of I do not want to be paying 75% of my tuition for the sports program at a college. I went to a private all women's college in Missouri, and I called my alma mater and I said, "Hey, could 75% of my tuition go to," because the tuition was expensive. Did it go to, the sports programs that we had? Because we had several. They're like, "Yeah." And that pissed me off because we were big. The computer department, I have a degree in CIS and business administration. The computer department was always begging for money, and 75% of my tuition was going to the sports program? Fuck that. That pissed me off. It should have been going to the computer department. That was what I was there for. I wasn't there for their sports. I didn't do any of their sports. I did one for 2 years, okay, but then it should have redirected. Uh, I mean, America's fucked up, and it's been FUBAR for a really long time, and we're just all just waking up to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. Just as a reminder, please, please, please start removing your labor from this economy. And the way you start is you have to get the education first. So until next Friday, you have to purchase my paid side of Substack, which is $40. That's for a full year of paid Substack, but you get my beginnings course for free. And I'll send you the link and the emails and all of that as soon as you pay the Substack fee. And it's the easiest way that I can contribute and give back. This is the way that I can do it, by offering the beginnings course for free when you purchase the paid side of Substack for $40. And the more that you wait, you're going to wait another weekend to start, is just that much further you're going to be behind, because we are getting to that tipping point where now it's going to be harder and harder and harder to do the catch up. Like, it's not going to be harder to make the money once you get your business up and going, but anytime you have your own business, it's a numbers game to a certain degree. You've got to put the effort into it, and it takes time to build it. But because of where we are in this government with this pedophile regime, and how they're starting to be more violent towards the American people, it's going to get harder and harder, because there's going to be this bigger chasm between not having any money and trying to make money. Now, it's like most people have kind of a job, or they have something that's supplementing their income where they can build this. And I'm going to tell you, Forbes has been reporting for the last 5 years that you've got to get in digital marketing. You've got to get a digital income, because it's the only thing that's not affected by government, tariffs, and inflation or recession. It's the only thing that's not affected. And right now, and they're reporting, because it's a $1 billion industry as of the end of last year, 2025. They're reporting that it's going to be a $1 trillion, with a T, $1 trillion business by the end of 2027. A business that you own and that is not influenced by the government. And when you put your stuff out there, you're putting it out there to the world. You're not putting it out there to your little city or your community or to your state. You're not putting it out to America. You're putting it out to the world. And, this pedophile regime wants to make that harder, but it's not going to be. What's going to be harder is having some kind of resource to cover the bills while you build this, right? And 6 months from now, people that wait like 6 months from now and they don't have anything because they haven't built anything and they think that they'll go on unemployment, it's bankrupt. And, they're going to be on the streets. And what has the pedophile regime done? They've created these homeless prisons where if you're homeless, it's a crime. Why do you think they're doing that right now? I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to fearmonger you. But what I am trying to tell you is that it's imminent. And now is the time. You have a window of opportunity to control your income stream coming in, right? And then you control your money. You vote with your dollars and you control your money going out. You stop giving it. Stop lining the billionaires' pockets. Stop lining these corporations that are greedy. Stop lining their pockets. Stop lining this government's pockets. And they're sending our money everywhere else except for the American people. This fascist regime is falling and is cracking, but it's going to take some more time. And it's also going to have to take the American people waking the fuck up and getting uncomfortable. I don't want to get that uncomfortable. I'm at the most of what I want to be uncomfortable. So I'm doing what I can do. I'm removing my dollars and I've removed my labor. If I've done it, you can do it. My Substack is $40 for a year. And you get my beginnings course for free. Do it. This weekend, start. You have to get the education piece. If you don't like me, if you don't resonate with me, go find another course to take. There are other courses out there. Just be careful they don't have upsells. Just be careful that if they do updates, they don't say, okay, you'll have to pay for the updates. And make sure they give you all the information where they don't do any gatekeeping. I took a bunch of courses at the end of 2023 to fill in my education gaps, and the majority of courses I found did not give you all the information. They left technology. They would leave that gap and then you'd have to go research it, which I'm like, no, I just paid you so that I don't have to research that. You're my shortcut, right? And so I can go and research all of this and put it together, but it takes me forever. Buying a course is my shortcut. So don't leave out gaps. I leave out no gaps. And I will never, ever do an upsell. And as I update the course, I will not charge you for that update. I think that's ridiculous. I'm here to try to help people and also build my income stream. So this is one of the ways that I can do it. And right now, because of what's happened, this is the best way that I can give back without cutting my nose off to spite my face, because I'm a single mother with 2 children. And this is what I can offer you to really help you. Purchase my Substack, $40 for a paid year subscription to my paid site of Substack, and you get my beginnings course for free. I hope to see some of you on the flip side. That would be great. I've had a lot of people sign up this week, and I'm so, so excited about helping them build and monetize their skill set so that they own their income stream. Thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful Friday evening. I will be live tomorrow. I just don't know what time. My kids have some crazy schedules going on tomorrow. So I'm going to try to figure it out. But I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Talk to you soon.